My name's Aaron Bell, and I'm trying to make a series called What I Learned Today. In this video, I'm going to talk about a process I learned for improving very rapidly. And in order to do that, I need to go through some basic principles that I know of, the process that I used, and to really make it sink in, I need to give you some examples. So, I learned about the auto-associative principle in Jeff Hawkins' book on intelligence. And he says that the brain targets output similar to the input provided. The metaphor he used is that you go into the market to buy bananas. You can only pay for it in bananas. What use is this? If you have some rotten old bananas, these lower quality bananas can be used to purchase newer, fresher, more edible bananas. He's essentially saying the brain uses a positive feedback loop to gather data similar to what's given. I use this in my process. Mentioned here. Teleology, as I understand it, is goal seeking. I've understood it when used in seminar contexts, especially in NLP seminars, because there was so much talk of goal setting. But I defined it via Google just now as the explanation of phenomena in terms of the purpose they serve, rather than of the cause by which they arise. This word describes how the brain activates resources. It's teleological. It uses whatever purpose you give it to give commands to your body, so an important goal needs to be given. Finally, you have constraints. We'll assume you have the energy, time, maybe even money to do what you need to do. If money is an issue for you, don't worry about this. The hardest part, in my opinion, after being in a range of cash situations, from poor to decent off, is the attention. Another way of describing it is the complexity, the size. If something is too complex or too big, the brain will throw it off, will not even invest resources because it seems too big. Why invest in something if you never get a return? So you need something that fits meaningfully within the constraints of the attention you're able to give. Your mind is like your mind has a bucket that's so big you can only you have to put only what the bucket can hold into it. So a process I've come up with leverages these three apparent truths. It's the best, better, half process. Best. What's my best? This is the first question, and it leverages the auto-associative principle. Give your brain diamonds, or the most valuable thing you can, so that you can get exponentially more diamonds out. Better. What's better? This second question uses the teleological nature of your brain. Give it a meaningful goal that will improve your situation, that will activate your body towards building a better world. A goal that will activate your body towards building a better world. Half. What's half? While looking at the goal from what's better, chop the goal in half until it fits half, and the half is in half until it fits, until you get a chunk that fits within the constraint of the attention you're able to give. If you feel severely discomfortable, I mean that word, not discomfortable. When you feel severely discomfortable with the answer to the second question, you need to break it down. Half the halves until you feel some sense of strength that can take positive action. A typical process looks like what's your best, what's better. If you feel any discomfort, ask what's half of that, then ask what's half, and repeat until you achieve it, until you find an achievable chunk of action that you can take right now. So, to make clear the benefits using this process, I've illustrated some of my own examples of its use. Here's what I've done today alone. Physical yoga. I've improved the physical. Yoga. So, what's my best? I did 20 minutes 3 times a day for a few months when unemployed. This was a while back. What's better? I could do a 20-minute session right now because I feel really tight and tense. Okay, that feels a little bit much. That gives me a sense of discomfort. So what's half of that? So 10 minutes yoga. Okay. So let's see here. Still too discomfortable. So half of that, 5 minutes, still a little bit much. Half of that, 3 minutes. Alright, I can do 3 minutes yoga. So I ended up starting down dog. Let's see, down dog yoga with that goal. I ended up reaching that goal, and I meant to and while in downward facing dog pose, I mentally visited this process. I must have felt so tight in the yoga stretches. It felt so good that I inspired myself to stretch for 10 more minutes. This far surpassed the lack of yoga and tightness I had experienced until this moment, this use of the process. Says, then after yoga, I improved the emotional relationships. My relationship with an attractive woman. What's my best? I felt composed and engaged a long conversation with said attractive woman. What's better? I want to speak with her. I want to speak with her more routinely, every hour, instead of by chance. What's half of that? Sit with her at lunch. What's half of that? Have a reason to sit with her. What's half of that? Because I still feel sensitive for come up with interesting topics to chat about. What's half of that's still a bit much, so what's half of that? Come up with a single interesting topic. I'm still working on this one, but it took my emotional state from doing anything more would make things awkward to a sense of it's possible that I can make a great relationship happen. This is far superior. I feel like $1 million. Pardon the old idiom. Pardon the old expression. Is that an idiom or an expression? I don't know. Expression's safer. I've improved the mental coding a project for a friend. If you're not into programming, please disregard or please gloss over this part. If you're into programming, I'm between a beginner and a true intermediate. Please forgive my ignorance. If you're into programming, but program with a superior language like Ruby, please forgive the PHP creators for not making a language as beautiful as Ruby. We all know Ruby is the best. It's the best language. Smiley face. So what's my best? I've got a whole bunch of environment stuff set up, i.e. Windows subsystem for Linux, Docker, and more. What's better? What's better? I should know how to get testing set up with the confusing Docker sync, Docker Compose setup. That's part of the environment. Part of the new environment. I feel disparate when I think of that. So what's half? Well, something that I see when I try to test my code is a PDO driver error. See, when I test my code, is a PDO driver error. So half could be to know what a PDO even is. So that's a strong goal, to know what a PDO is. Of course, from my perspective, this isn't really half, but this gave me a great new goal. This gave me a far more achievable goal. That I know I knew I could accomplish. I ended up searching for what it was straight away. It led a series of repetitions of this process, which led to a great increase in knowledge related to that programming and network. Required to understand the new environment I am now expected to code in. Specifically, I learned that a PDO is a PHP data object. It's a PHP data object interacts and networking processes which later to other MySQL databases. Things like MySQL. I learned that the driver wasn't found because PHP uses a driver, a bunch of code to create a PDO, which drives the interaction between PHP and MySQL. This code isn't enabled by default, and it must be enabled in some file called PHP-ini, which PHP uses to configure itself on start. PHP must be started obvious, but maybe not so. Hold on, that's kind of super obvious. That PDO for MySQL. MySQL wasn't found. Therefore, triggered an error with my I ran tests because it was commented out of the php.ini file. So I obviously made a lot of progress. I guess quickly. Quick progress. So I've obviously made quick progress. I repeated this process after my tests gave me a new error that involved was not being found. So I looked at some code that used the PDO. I learned somewhat how it delivered the error message. I repeated the process. Another repeat of the process. Process made me realize that I didn't really understand what a host was. The repeat. Another best, better, half repeat. Led me to reading a book on becoming a CCNA or a Cisco Certified Network Associate. See it. This reading is giving me the exact understanding I need to know how PHP talks with MySQL, and how MySQL talks with Docker, and how Docker talks with Windows Linux or OS X, and how the containers in Docker talk with each other in Docker. My point is, I'm learning a complex subject in a very fast manner, in a way that is fun and very manageable. So I improved another mental thing. That's it, of the coding aspect. Let's talk about because I've improved another mental thing. So what's my best? I've made a few YouTube videos in the past. Off the cuff. What's better? I made a few progress what's better? Make a few progress videos. Get some basic scripting done. Make a fast process for recording. What's after that? Create a basic outline. What's after that again? Just write a key point. Well, I ended up asking the question, what is networking? I then wrote a minor outline of some things I learned, i.e. what the different components, like bridges, switches, hubs, and routers are, what broadcast and collision domains are. I then realized the key question of the channel is what I learned today. I wrote that question down, followed by some answers. I then used that best, better, half approach, which caused me to narrow down. Which caused me to narrow the answers down from the network answers. Which caused me network answers to the process answers. Better half process answers. I've repeated the best, better, half process for YouTube, which led me to looking at processes on YouTube. What I realized while watching videos on video scripting, however, was that I simply needed a structure for information so that I could convey it more efficiently. This led me to writing the essay conforming to the outline that you see here. I see essays as clusters of organized information. This organized information conveys information efficiently. So for efficient conveyance of information from me to you, I needed to write this. So the best, better, half process is how you got what you see here. It's how you're getting what you see here. So you can see this process works in a way that is practical and based on sound principles. Early prototypes of this model, pre-half, before the half question was added, has led me to sound mental health with suicide. You didn't know I was severely suicidal before. It's led me to sound financial health. I have more money, a budget to guide it, a higher paying job I've had a long time. The process has given me sound relationship health. The primary benefit is being grateful for the things, the big wins we've had in relationships in the past, which cause you to be nice when the other person isn't. This means higher resilience, conflict, attention, meaning higher probabilities of in a relationship and improving and nurturing it. This process has helped take care of myself. I'm quite fit. I go running. I run. I'm getting better sleep. I'm taking vitamins and supplements. I've been drinking 3 V8s every working day. I intend to use this to improve my health further. Because I could use a healthier diet than ramen. So this has been my essay on what I've learned. I intend to keep a log of the knowledge increases that I've experienced. and I want to organize the information I collect for both of us so that I can learn, so that I can have a better organization of the knowledge I've gained, and so that you can experience the increase of knowledge that I gained. Hold up. Let's actually take a moment and apply the process right now. So that I don't sound like an incoherent idiot. So what's my best? I just recorded a YouTube video that I intend to publish right after it's done recording. What's better? I could have better visuals for this. What's half of that? I could research a better setup, a tablet setup, where I could draw as I speak. What's half of that? I could draw some stuff and upload the pictures of the drawings, and append them and attach them to the document, so you have something to look at while I am talking. And as you can see, this process just gave you a really good idea for improving the quality of future videos. And I'll make this even more useful. I'll just keep giving other examples. Like, what's another best? I've been studying networking, as you can see, and I sort of understand several things. I sort of understand like the basic equipment that goes into it, and kind of like what transfers between it. Like, for instance, I know that hubs, switches, bridges, and routers connect the various devices, and that's what makes different uses of these devices, or what makes it important to use one device over another, depends on how much you want to segregate devices in a network. And the reason you want to segregate devices in the network is because of how devices talk to each other. In other words, like all devices have to listen to the network, and all devices are capable of sending what's called a broadcast. This broadcast must be listened to on all devices within a certain segment of the network. Now, you can use physical devices like routers to separate, or to kind of put a wall between those broadcasts and another device. Device. So, I don't know. That's basically the area that my attention's been focused on. So what's better? So that's my best. So what's better? I could have a cleaner, more organized understanding of these processes, as well as a finer, more nuanced understanding of these different components and phenomena like broadcast domains and collision domains. I think it's called a collision domain, and I could have a more organized understanding of all this. So what's half of that? I could understand better what a switch does and why it improves something why it reduces collision domains, or why it increases. I don't know what it does yet, really. What's half of that? I basically could just read more of the book. So that gives a really useful next step. So you can see how it takes you from, like, this process takes you from a very solid place to a very information-rich place. Like, where you see all the inner diamonds that you have, and it gives you a goal to focus on, and then it takes you down, and then it breaks it down until it's a very, very actionable goal, if you will. So these were just some off-the-cuff examples. I probably drew this on a little bit longer. I probably can improve a lot of things about this video. This is good for a good first video. So I'll leave it at this, and I'm going to upload this, and yeah, I'll leave it at that. And I'm sure you've read the side note by now, so I'm not going to read that. Yeah, I'll talk to you later. Bye.